Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Sea Turtle. Absolutely love this stamp set. It is in the new mini catalogue, which runs from now through to the end of April. And it is on page 29. It's a reversible stamp. So it means that you can use it on the etched side, and you can use it on the other side as well to give you a silhouette if you want to. It is £20 and you get 8 stamps, and as I say, they're all reversible, so in reality you can use 16 of them because you can use it this side and you can use it that side. Now when you look at the front you think, oh, that's a reasonable size turtle. Wait till you see the size of it. I've used it once. It is huge. So this is the large size turtle, and you can see that's the size of my hand. I'll give you the measurement of it because I was really surprised at how big it is. It is nearly 3.5 inches by 3 inches. So 3 inches, 3.5 inches. It's a huge size. It fills up the whole of a sheet of cardstock. We're not using this one today. I used it before. If you look back on my videos, or if you're a follower of mine, you'll know. We're going to use the smaller one today, and we're going to use all of the other pieces, I think, and the backgrounds. So what I have done is I have done my what we're going to work with. So I always try and do a template, a plan of the way I want the card to go. So I have got these are cut from the circle dies. So you've got 2 circle dies in there. One's the matte, one's the circle. I've then got a piece which is cut the width of the card. That's to put a sentiment or to put something on. I don't know whether it's a sentiment. I might actually just do some things with it. And then we've got a strip that runs this way, so that's going to be the length of the card. What size they are, it really doesn't matter. They are scrap pieces that are over. This piece measures an inch, and so this piece measures an inch across that way. This piece measures, I think, probably 1.25 inches. Yes, that piece is 1.25 inches. But it doesn't matter if it was 1.5 inches. It's just a piece to add some extra texture. You've then got your mat. My mat, as I say, I always cut my bits and pieces out of it so there's no extra waste. And then this piece is 1/4 inch smaller. So wherever you are in the world, whatever size your cardstock is, because it's different, just measure it up so that you've got a piece that's the length and the width to just do your pieces. So that's what we're going to be working with. Let me take those pieces and then I can move that out of the way and we'll use that later on. Okay, so I want to do all sorts of different things with this, and I've chosen different blues. Obviously Orchid Oasis, because that's the back colour. Tahitian Tide and Starry Sky. Then I've got some Coastal Cabana and I've got some Pool Party. Not sure how many of all of them I'm going to use, probably all of them, but we shall see. So I want to use the Orchid Oasis to start off with, and I'm going to do some patterns on the base of the card. Now I'm going to just grab a little scrap. I keep turning around and telling you about my scraps that I'm using. As I finish a piece of this grid paper, I will always use it on as many sides as I can. So you can see I've still got some more sides to use, just to make sure that it goes a little bit further. I think this year particularly we want things to stretch just a little bit further, so that's what I tend to do. Okay, so I've taken this back piece. Now you can see it is actually thicker photopolymer than you would normally get because it's reversible. So it means you can use both sides. I'm just going to use the pattern side, I think, at the moment. I might use the other side later, but I'm just going to ink it up, and then we are going to put some of this down on here. So I'm going to take it so that it comes sort of on and off. Oh, it's ever so nice, isn't it? And I think I'm going to match this in. It does match in quite well, so we can have one in and one off, sort of pebbly, beachy things coming in, and a bit of over colouring on there. And I might take it down the card. So I'm going to do the other piece on here. Don't mind if it overlaps, because that gives a little bit of extra texture on there. And so I've got that running down that side. I think that's going to work quite nicely. Let me just get my Simply Chamois out. I knew there would always be something that I'd just forgotten. So I can clean that off. I really need to, I said it last time, didn't I? Really need to clean my Simply Chamois. I tend to give it a good old wash with soap and water, and then I tend to put a bit of bleach in it now, because it is getting quite a peculiar colour. Okay, so that's that piece. Now I want to do some of the, let's do some of these. I'm going to take this out for a minute, and we'll have a look and see all of the other pieces that are on here. I can put that down there now. So I want the stars. We'll take all of these pieces out because I think I'm going to use all of them. So we've got stars, starfish, two different sizes of starfish. We've got this lovely smaller turtle, and then we've got a round sort of conch shell, and then we've got the fish, and then we've got sort of a wave piece going on, which I think will look quite nice. So put those in on here, and we're going to try and use all of these pieces. So this sort of wave, I don't know what that's quite like, but we'll have a go with that. And I want to do that in, let's do that in Tahitian Tide, and then we can pop that one in on there. So I think it gives sort of the waves coming in on the shore. So I'm just going to pop that in like that. Needs to come in over the top like that. Then I'm going to have to do it to join it up a bit. So we'll have that in there, and we'll have that in there so it joins. So you've got that sort of the waves coming in to the shoreline, which is, it's really rather exciting building up all of these. They really are rather good. Now what I could do is I could do it the other way around. Let's try, because it's reversible, let's have a go at doing a piece the other way. So I'm going to take this off because all of these are reversible, and I'm going to put it the other way round. And then I'm going to take it, I don't want it in the Tahitian Tide. I'm going to choose the Coastal Cabana on this, I think. So let's just have a look. Now this, as I say, is the opposite side, and we should be able to then take that and put it in on the centre. Put it in on the centre there. Put it in on, oops, didn't catch it out, but you can see how you can get it on both pieces. And I'm just going to take that bit in the centre there. Do need to stamp that, make sure that I do it first, stamp that off, and then I'm just going to put that one in there like that. Okay, so that gives another little bit of texture coming down, and you can see you can use both sides of it. Now I want to, because I've used the other side, I'm going to take the think I might take those large pebbly bits again and just do something on the other side. So let's put that down on there and take this one out again, because I really love the texture of that. So we're going to put that again, make sure that I've got a little dimensional that's just stuck on there. That will leave a blank space. So I don't want the, I think I'm going to do it in the pool party now on this one. And we'll just put this one in down on here like that, and then we'll have the other piece just in down on here like this. I don't mind it going over a bit. I think I'll turn it round and we'll have it in. I want to make sure that I'm not going over onto my, it's me saying I'm using my scrap and then I'm not going to use it. So just bring that down there. It's quite good that the contours will actually keep those pieces in. So I really love that sort of texture. Not sure about the other side of that, but it's the background, so it's not going to show that much. And in fact, I will probably put the other piece down there completely. So that's those pieces done. Now we need to work on these two strips. So one of them, this piece that's coming down here, I'm going to cover that up because this was an experiment using the two sides. The reverse side didn't work, so I'm just going to cover it with this strip like that. And that strip we're going to use the two seashell starfish. So I'm going to use the large starfish, and colour wise I think I'm going to use Orchid Oasis and some starry, maybe I'll use quite a few of them, we'll see. I like the Orchid Oasis, so we can do 1, 2, 3. Beautiful stamp, absolutely beautiful. Really love that. Would actually work as a patterned stamp. You don't necessarily need to use it as a starfish. I really love that some of these stamps now have got so much detail on them. They really are beautiful. So I want to use this. I love the Tahitian Tide. It's such a beautiful colour. So we'll put this in and put one there, put one there, and put one there. And then I want to cover it all in these, but I'm just trying to put different colours in. So I want let's try putting it through on the opposite side with some starry sky. So I do like the starry sky. It's very it's quite dark, but it works together very well. So let's put, and the detail of this is lovely. So I'm going to put another one in that way, and this one in this way. I'm turning it so that I don't overlap it, because what I don't want is for it to them to go into each other. I want them to be separate. And then this little one is going to be in, let's put that in the Coastal Cabana. I think it should go in there. You can see me turning it so that I don't have it on I've got a little bit of something on here. Hold on. There we go. Quite sure what it was, but it was, there we go. It was just making that little blob. So if you've got, I've been doing lots of bits and pieces on this desk, so I obviously had a dimension on one of them and a little piece on there. So check your stamps, because sometimes you think, oh, it's not stamping properly, and it's because you've got a little piece on it. Okay, so that's going to go down in on here. We're going to do a bit of sponging on the sides. That's going to work nicely. And then this piece on here, I want to do the swimming fish. So I'll put that in on there. And what colour do I want to do the fish? I think I'm going to have those in the Tahitian Tide, I think, because I really quite like the bright colour of that. So I'm just going to, doesn't matter which way, is that way up or that way up? I think they can swim either way, can't they? So I'm just going to put one that way and one that way. It should probably go that way, shouldn't it? Actually, it really doesn't matter. They can swim up or they can swim down. I think probably that. So I just need to make sure I was doing it that way, wasn't I? So now I've turned it round a few times. I can't remember which one I was doing. And I'm going to take the dark again for the fish and just put them in the little space that's over on there. So I can just try and see. That's it, because then I can turn it the other way around if I want to. So these are going to come in like that. And then come up like that. And then I just want to do one coming in just in on the center there. Okay, so that's got all of that strip in. So we've got, it's almost like having 3 pieces of design in series paper. The only thing we didn't use was that little conch shell, but I don't think that that will matter too much. So now we need to do our, oh, in fact, we could put some of the conch shells on there, couldn't we? Because he's going to go in like that, but I think I'm going to have him just sort of up. Right, we're going to put some of these little conch shells in, and I want those to be fairly pale, I think. So let's do those in the pool party. First time of using it, so always make sure that you've seasoned your stamp by just moving it across a bit. They're quite nice, actually. Gives it quite a little bit of a patterning there, doesn't it? I could do that in another colour as well, I think. Let's do that in the Orchid Oasis. And then we can put that in down on there. I do love creating. That in there. That in there. That in there. And that in there. So that can go in over the top there. So we've got all of the different stamps and textures and things in there, which I think is going to be lovely. Now what I need to do is, we need to do this little turtle here, because he's going to be done and given some, make sure that I've got it on the right side. We want to do him with all sorts of different sort of textures and things like that coming in. So I want to do him in a pale. I've got to work out, I need a little scrap, which I haven't got together yet. So let me just grab a, I got a small scrap, or do I have to cut a piece off of a larger one? I have got a bit of a scrap here. Excuse me for being off camera. It's quite a big scrap, so I will cut it down a bit, because I don't need a piece quite that big. So let's just take this piece here like that. Oops. Okay, so this is going to be, let me see how big he is. I think probably just a couple of inches, maybe 1.5 inches. It's not huge, is he? Okay, so I've cut myself a bit of a scrappy piece off, and will he fit on there? Oh, I think I was being a bit frugal there, but that gives me another strip, which is fine. I can use that for something else. Okay, so just put this down on here, and he will work perfectly like that. Now, this one, I want to do him in a variety of colours, so I'm going to take this colour to start off with, which is the Tahitian Tide. So he's going to be all done in Tahitian Tide to start off with. Then if you take your sponge daubers, so I'm going to use a little bit of the Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to use some of the Starry Sky, because that's the dark part. So the Orchid Oasis, let's do that one first, and I'm just going to just dab some bits in, so he's just sort of slightly multicolored. And then I'm going to take the Tahitian the Starry Sky, and with the Starry Sky I'm literally just doing the very outside. So if you hold your sponge dauber at an angle and literally just go down the outside, what will happen is that you'll get like an outline in there, which is why you use your darkest colour last, because then it doesn't matter that you're dipping it back into your ink pad. So take it all the way around the side and then just in on the face like that, and then just because the little shell comes round there, we just need to do it round on there so that it then works evenly. So when you see me stamping it, you'll see you can huff it if you want to, and then we're going to put it down on here and give it a good press. Hopefully I'm on, oh, just on. I thought I'd just missed it on there, but you can see you get this lovely tones coming through, which is beautiful, and that's what we want. Now, while we've got this out, I am going to just clean that up first. So I've got everything looking nice and clean. So we're going to cut this one out, which I'm going to do in a second. But before we do that, what I want to do is, as I've got my sponge daubers and ink pads out, I want to go around the outside of this. So I'm going to take the Orchid Oasis, and I'm just going to just go around the outside of it. And I'm using the blending brushes because I just want to give that, take the whiteness off the edge, and I want to keep the same colour going through. So I could have changed it halfway through, but I wanted to keep the same colour working through on there. Then I can get the Orchid Oasis sponge dauber and just go round so that I can get that just a little bit darker just on the edge. And work it round so we've got a nice edge in there, and it's taking it right the way round. So you've got your darker piece with the sponge dauber, but then the blending brush has given you that nice sort of variegated look in there. So that comes all the way through. Okay, so that's that piece done. Then I want to do exactly the same thing with these pieces. Now I'm not going to use the blending brush, I'm just going to use the sponge dauber. So I'm doing it just coming over the edge, but I want to make sure that this is giving a nice background piece for this. So I'm taking it all the way around like that, and then that can go on there. And I don't think I want to do, I might just do a little tiny bit of this round on here to just blend those pieces in just a bit. So I'm not doing a lot, just a little bit on there to just soften it just slightly so the paper's not quite so white, but we do have the definition in the center. That's better. So that brings it down a bit. And then exactly the same with this piece. So this one again, and I'm doing it all with the, I was looking to see maybe do some of them with the Starry Sky, but I actually want to do it just all with the Orchid Oasis. So this just softens the edges. I could just take that in there, so that's just softened it a bit so that it's not, it's more sea-like. And then, as I say, I'm just going round the edge of this one with the side of it. I'm not doing anything else on it because this will all blend in with the other colours. So just again on the edge like this. And take that off like that. Okay, so that piece goes down there. Right, so I can take those pieces off now. The only thing that I will need to do is to think of a sentiment, and I think I'm going to use on the sentiments let's take this horrible scrubby piece of paper away now. On the sentiments, I think I'm going to use something from one of the other sets. Now I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this out, because that gives our colours together. I love the way that you get this with this variegated look. I think it's absolutely lovely. So whenever I fussy cut, I always leave a little bit of a border, because then it gives you, it looks more as if it's been die cut. You always have a little white halo. It doesn't have to be too big, but if you do that, it makes it easier to cut it out. So I'm just going round on here, and you can just bring it in a little bit, turning the paper as you go. Now I must admit my fussy cutting is not the greatest, and as I'm getting older my eyesight's not as good, but it's still something that's quite fun to do. I must admit, I do enjoy doing it, and it keeps your hand in. I always say that you know, you can overcome most obstacles. And if you don't like the fussy cutting, then, you know, just stamp it in the center and don't put the seashells or the background on there. And you can, you know, do that. It's a fairly simple shape, this one. It's not too complicated because you haven't got, most of these are round, and then you just come out to where his little arm is, and I've literally just taken it right to the edge there. I've just a whiskers hair, and I would have had to have stamped it again, but it will work on there. So just in there. I love the detail of the little eyes and everything. As I say, it astounds me how far stamps have come over the years. We've now got some just beautiful detailed stamps, which, you know, you get every single little tiny piece of it coming out, which, you know, if you think a few years ago, you didn't have as much detail as that. Okay, so he's going to go in on there. That's going to go in on there. That's going to go in on there. And that's going to go in the background. Then I need to have a sentiment to go in on here. And it's going to be, I'm going to choose on the ocean, hoping this year is full of adventure and excitement, because I really like that. I think that's lovely. So let's find that here. And again, this is another new set, but I like the font on this. I think it's lovely. So I'm just going to put it on this way, because it doesn't really matter which way I have it, whether it's the right way up or the wrong way up. Can't even see. I think it's that way. And I'm going to do it in the dark, like this. So this is in the starry sky. And then I'm going to put it down on here. Like that. Oh, it was upside down. Doesn't matter, does it? Because I can cut it out. And then I can always take it up that way first. And I need to see, it's got to go in on the centre of there, hasn't it? So I'm going to give a little bit more of a border than I probably would have, because I think that that will work. So I'll just cut that out. Oops, I got my scissors caught. There we go. Then that can go in on there. Lovely. Okay, so let's start putting some of this together, because we've got all of our other pieces that will work, and then we're going to get some, here we go. So we're going to take this in on here first of all. So that's going to go in. We get some wet glue and some dimensionals. So that's my glue, and we need some dimensionals out of here, because we need to put at least the turtle up with dimensionals. But we'll pop this one on here first. Like that. And then I can put that in here. And it doesn't really matter which way. I've just noticed that I've turned it over. So we could have it this way with this on here. I think that works better. Light to dark, dark to light. Doesn't really matter, but I quite like it that way, so I am going to put it that way, I think. So let's put this down onto our base. As I say, I've started quite often, I go, oh, I'm not going to put it together, but I know that a lot of you like to see the actual finished process and the process from start to finish. Sometimes I do some of it beforehand, And I know that it can be frustrating if you're actually just wanting to see how things go. So this is going to come in over the top, covering up that bit. As I say, not happy with that, but that's where you can, if you've done something on a background you're not that happy with, or you've made a bit of a mistake, then, you know, just turn round and sorry, I'm concentrating while I get this down on this bit. Just turn round and put something over the top, or put an embellishment or something like that on. Okay, so that piece is going to go on there. Then we've got this piece to go down in on the bottom. So that's got to go down on there, and I am putting it down with just wet glue. There's going to be some dimension, but I don't want to have too many dimensionals on there. Now, which way did we think we'd have these fish swimming? This way, I think. So let's just give a little bit of a border on there, like that. Then this is going to come in over the top like that. And again, I'm not going to put dimensional. I think I'm only going to put dimensionals on the turtle, because again, it's that thing that if you put too much on, it doesn't, it ends up looking too much. Okay, so that's going to go on there. So we've got the fish coming through. This is going to go in on top like that. This has got to go in on here. So I'm going to put this one in at first so I can line it up. And that can go in on there. And then that can go in on there. And then he needs to go up with dimensionals. So I think I'm going to use minis for these, and that's what I was saying about the minis are just fantastic for going into little spaces. So I've got the standard, and I'm going to put a standard in on the center on his body like that. But then this is where the minis come into their own. If you put a little mini in on his arms and legs. The good thing is that they are hexagonal, so that they fit into little spaces quite well. There we are. So I know that that's going to come up. Put him in like that. That's perfect. Okay, so I need to put this one in first. And again, you could put the whole lot up with dimensionals, but if you're posting, particularly in the UK, you have to be quite careful with the postage. And if you have too much postage, or if you have anything that's too bulky with too many dimensionals, it doesn't fit through the slot, and it then goes into the next postage. So if you've got dimensionals like this, but not too many, if I had that on dimensionals and the other, it then makes it too wide to go in there. Now he's going to come in at an angle like that. So we've just got him on top. There we go. So absolutely everything on this we have stamped. So you can see how you can create lots of different textures and fun things on there. And you've got your beautiful, you know, sea look to it with doing your own thing. Now I am going to, and this is, it's retired now, but if any of you got any of these, oh, I've got another little one that's on there. These were the faux sea glass, and they were for another sea set last year, I think, but I don't use gems too much, but I thought that they would actually look, oh look, they've all come unstuck. I think they're all on the top of the, are they all on the top of there, or are they all on, Hold on, I've got to try and get them out. There we go. So I'm just going to put some of these dotted about because I think they might be quite fun. But you could put anything you wanted on there. It's only literally because I've got them that I thought, oh, that might be quite fun. So I'm just going to try and get some of these just dotted about. I'm going to put them in the right colours, so that can go in on there. That can go in on there. And do I just put a pale one in on here? No, I think we need to keep the same colour, don't we? And we'll have one in there like that. Okay, so that's just added just a little bit of something in on there that just gives a little bit of extra interest. As I say, you could put pearls on there, you could put anything you wanted really. I just thought I wanted to just put a little bit of something that would just finish it off. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.